Hey, gentlemen, what's going on? Maxwell Hamilton, okay, and John Berardo, the director. Tell us about your movie, Mannequin.
69.
I want to say real quick first, I tried to go for just Maxwell, but there's a singer that already has just the name, so I'm stuck with both names.
Well, tell us about the Mannequin.
Of course, John, take it away.
Yeah, so The Mannequin's a horror film that's going to come out on October 14th about a serial killer that likes to possess people to chop off their body parts. And it's a really fun horror flick that we made a few years ago, and we're really excited to release it out to the world.
And is it going to be in theaters?
No, it's going to be on digital, and the DVD fans can buy a copy as well.
Okay, perfect season to release a horror film.
Absolutely.
I gotta say. But what led to the concept behind this? I mean, first of all, I was intrigued by your poster. That's what really got me. Was like, this poster looks terrifying.
Oh, we're glad. Yeah, we were pumped about it.
Yeah, and mannequins themselves, I find creepy.
Exactly.
Like, I could never be a security guard at a Nordstrom's because I would be terrified. We're gonna watch your trailer in a second, but what inspired the story?
Well, if you look behind me, there's a mannequin in my wall. So I had a roommate here years ago. I went to USC, and he shot a short film and left all these mannequins here that I had hanging around for a while. And so, once the pandemic happened, I decided that I was going to turn a bunch of mannequins into living room kind of like art and have them kind of come out of my wall. And, you can kind of see there's a mannequin. There's mannequins everywhere in here. Hands, legs that are coming up there. Mannequins. So I just, kind of turned this little art project into a movie that you're going to be able to watch in a few days.
Awesome. Well, let's actually look at the trailer for the movie. I've got it queued up right here. Let's get it. We have to know about this. Is the season for horror. So let's watch the trailer.
Then Jane Mansfield, Betty Page. How about we take a few with the dress on?
Jack! This is huge.
I know.
What's back here? Oh shit, I thought that was a real person. So where'd you get this?
Did you get that when you started saying that?
Yeah. All three of us. We're not really sure what it's from.
Hazel. What are you doing? Hazel.
The building was first used as a mannequin factory, operated by photographer Jack Gore.
So you're saying that a dead serial killer is doing this to us?
Yes. We are going to provoke and trigger the spirits with prayer. Liana?
No!
All in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you, leave!
Damn. Okay. You got me there. And you also got me with, I thought I saw boobs, but it's a mannequin's boobs. Well done, gentlemen. Well done. So you got to tell, and good job there, Maxwell. How do you balance being a producer and an actor? Wearing both hats.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was certainly a challenge when we were shooting and throughout pre-production. It was obviously a full-time commitment. We had another great producer, Ashley Rosenberg, with me, and we basically had an agreement where, we were together 100% of the time, but I had asked as a favor. I was originally on as Peter Adler, the character, so I was originally attached as just an actor, ended up producing it as well, but I needed to give justice to my original commitment to the film. So on any days that I had a scene, I just needed to come just fully focused on that. Sure, if we, broke down and I wasn't used as an actor the rest of the day, I'd be able to switch over to producer. But if I was coming in for the day and had a scene, my request was that I just came fully focused on that. And it worked out great. I mean, Ashley had my back the entire time. And yeah, I mean, there are times where I'd be kind of spoiler, covered in blood, and we'd say cut and move to the next setup. And I just grabbed my laptop. I didn't have time to towel off or anything, and we'd start on the schedule and the permits for the next day and whatnot. So it was 100% commitment the whole time.
Well, you're in a rare class of producer actors. Tom Cruise, also a producer actor. I'm sure you know about that.
That's what I like to think.
John, I gotta ask, what are your horror influences? I get sort of a Asian horror vibe from the film, visually speaking, but what are some of your horror influences?
I mean, that's very interesting. I've never really been an Asian. That's never been like my go-to genre. I'm a huge '90s slasher kid. I grew up watching, the Screams. I know you did last summer's Urban Legends, and so I think when you watch my films, there's this there's a lot of character-based, horror. I would say that we now call elevated horror. But in terms of the horror gore element, this was my first supernatural. I never really thought I would make a supernatural horror film, but the murderous sort of, Black Dahlia, 1950s crime spree, Jack the Ripper element to it really allowed me to hone in on that. And I in terms of what the gore in that movie, I just thought what would scare the hell out of me if I woke up and there was some dude in my apartment, what would be the most terrifying thing. So it's kind of my approach to it. But I mean, OG 90s slasher, 90s horror kid.
You shot in LA, right?
Yeah, we shot it at a loft called Loft 1923, just in downtown LA, right off the 10 freeway. And we shot in a house in Hollywood.
Any tricks on shooting in LA nowadays? We just did a story about how difficult it is.
Insurance and
Well, it's funny. The loft has these big, vast windows, which is what we fell in love with the space. But we're pressed up right to the 10 freeway, and so you can hear all the cars and motorcycles passing by, and you can see the headlights. Most of them were night shoots, so you can see headlights. And we just eventually, instead of trying to hide it, we built it into the scenario. It's part of the world that these characters might be screaming in a horrible situation, and just on the other side of the window is civilization, and no one can hear you. So we work with it.
Now we've got over 1,500 people watching us live right now. We've got questions from our chat. We're going to put those up on screen and let's go. Solomon Thornton, greetings, Sir John and Maxwell. What is your process of creating a horror atmosphere for this film?
John,
a horror atmosphere. I would say it starts with the people, the characters, and the positions that you put them in. And it really kind of builds off of that. So, it's a matter of you could, put anybody in any location and give them some sort of predicament, whether it's, possession, someone with a knife trying to chase them. And really that's the starting place for creating that atmosphere. And that will answer a lot of the questions of how does the lighting come? Are you going to have shadows? Do you want shadows moving in the background? Max had commented on the moving of the cars and the headlights, and that was a huge perk visually for us. It gave us that film noir, sort of under, I forget the proper name for it, but that lighting that shoots up from underneath. So it worked out really well. And I would say, yeah, character.
Rudy for 5, who's a member, thank you so much. Man, this is going to be the craziest remake of the 1987 classic Mannequin. Kidding. Looks awesome. Looking forward to seeing it. Mannequins creep me out. Me
Love
too
that.
as well. Tim is not funny. The mannequins are a nice horror motif. I like the warehouse setting. That space looked distinctive and appropriate for the subject. Well done. Looks scary. And the nerd far away who's a member. Thank you. Hail, Mr. Berardo and Mr. Hamilton. Did any of your actors get scared on the set?
Absolutely. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, the mannequin, even though we knew it was, for the most part a prop, but also one of the, main characters, it looked creepy the whole time. So even if it was off in the corner, not in the shot, it was still this presence the whole time. We were in this big, vast warehouse where you would hear these creaks. I don't think we necessarily had a haunted set, but we were worried in the middle of shooting of maybe we're conjuring some spirits or anything. So shooting in that space in the dead of night was certainly creepy the whole time. Yeah, it was a thrill.
And it's the middle of downtown LA, which is like not the safest area currently. And like the last day, like there was like some sort of like homeless encampment fire, like right under the freeway. We're breathing in these fumes. Like it was, you're like going into a jungle.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom say. Everything's safe.
Well, it was a couple of years ago, so maybe
California.
You can look out my window if you'd like. We can do that.
California's not on fire. A couple more comments. Kenneth Marchand, it reminds me a little bit of Eyes of Laura Mars. Getting those vibes. That's high praise. And Rumble Hotep, not going to be able to go in the department store now. That's awesome. The movie is out now on VOD. Is that right?
October 14th.
October 14th.
Yeah, October 14th. So if that's now, then yeah.
4 days.
Yes. Next week, just a few days. Check it out. John and Maxwell, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on the film. Could have come out at a better time.
We're excited.
Just
Thank
in
you
time for
for
Halloween.
It's Scream season. Thank you so much. Congrats on the movie. Come back when you have your next film.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Take care. See ya.